Hey guys, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So for today, we're going to be talking about the free Dream Horse event that is currently happening. So the horn has been released today, July 5th, and this event runs through up until July 26, 2023. And you can get a free Dream Horse of your choosing and with the gender of your choosing, which we're going to be discussing later on. Now, the thing about the Dream Horse is that they do have separate functionalities and also different visuals. So my goal for this is to kind of help you decide first with the visual and second with the basic functionalities and not going over much on that one. And that later on you could decide on which one you would want to get. So now we would go with the visual, but basically for the horses, they have a specific function. So for the Pegasus, first up is the Wings of the Wind and the Wings of Freedom. So basically they have the mode of flight. So all of the horses have the ability to instant axle, double instant axle, and then even the Doom have triple ones. So the different thing about the Pegasus is that it could fly. And the good thing about this one is that if you're kind of traversing some of the terrains like this one that has a lot of bridges and land disconnect, you could just fly over it. So one basic example is that, for example, there is this long road and I want to go to the lighthouse. So I have to go down there in order for me to be able to go there. But with the flight, you could just jump and then just head on over there real quick. So this is very good for terrains that have a lot of obstacles and spaghetti roads, so that you could just skip those ones and be able to arrive much quicker. One of the biggest areas in Black Desert is, of course, the desert. And of course, if you are going to the grind spots such as the Histria for the compass, and also for the maps for the Pila Cool Jail, and also if you have questing done over here that you want to complete, then you would kind of find yourself in trouble unless you have an elephant or a brown camel. And as you can see, as you enter the desert, your horse would be fine for a while and then it would tend to slow down and you're not able to drift, or you will not be able to instant axle on a normal horse. Now that won't be an issue if you have the unicorn or the Dine or the Dine, depending on who you ask. But she or your horse can sprint real fast in the desert. You could still do your instant axle and all. And of course, if you are doing node wars, especially in the desert, this is the horse that you want to get. And one of the best things about the unicorn is the buffs. So when you press E and the horse does this animation, you would get Earth of Life and Earth of Protection if your horse learned it. Then you would get, for 60 seconds, 300 HP and MP recovery for every 3 seconds. And also plus 10 AP, DP, and evasion for 60 seconds. So definitely if you're doing PvP or Node Wars in the desert, definitely this is one of the horses that you would want to pick up. And last but not the least is the Doom, which was announced to have a T10 version with the blue flames soon. And this one has the dark flame steps and the dark sprint, which adds an additional thrust to the instant axle, which will be the third, which kind of makes it the fastest land mount. But of course, it still depends on the speed stats of your horse. But to further illustrate, let me just show you the example. So the dark flame step gives out a cone of fire, and this is very effective for dismounting other players from their horses or trolling around life skillers and stopping them from their activity. But don't do that, that's bad. And the dark sprint is normally a horse would sprint 1 and 2. So let me just demo 1, 2, and then you have to drift. But for the Doom, you have to 1, 2, and a 3, which is far, and then you could time it to do the third sprint. So this would give you much more in terms of distance when you're trying to get from point A to point B that's not in the desert. And that is it for the basic skills and visual, and I hope it kind of steers you in the direction that you were looking for. But in general, if you are enjoying an appearance of the horse and if you want flight, then go Pegasus. Fiery flashing is the Doom, and of course desert traveling and grass under your feet, then the Dine would be good for you, and also for the boost, of course. But For future reference, like these horses would all have now T10s. So the one that you have in front of you is like the T10 Pegasus, which is could float in the air, and also would have like the air boost that would be released soon. The Dine could walk on water, and then the Doom would have like like the kind of like the ghost bus that would let you um basically the infinite seater, like what they call. So those are the things that you would want to consider moving forward. But like if you're a beginner, like just try to enjoy like the ones that you love the most. Most of the ones that I know that are just beginning and joining the game are using the Pegasus because they want flight. And majority of them really don't care for the Doom and the Dine because majority of them can be bought in the market. And then like currently too, the current market, because of like the T10 announcement and also the free horse, have like a lot of listing. So if you would want to prepare for like a T10 of your choice, then get one for the male and one for the female. Always remember that, because like there are some people in my group that got both genders, and they were wondering why they could not like what it calls awaken them to T10. So keep that in mind. So again, guys, if you have any questions, them down below. I'll try to answer the best that I can. And good luck on your T10 taps.